James Helder, Eiffel TV, MTK Global. With me, I've got none other than Michael Conlan. We're here today in Surrey. Firstly, how are you, Michael?
All good, James. All good, mate.
Good. Big news at the moment. I want to go straight into things. Is that you've switched trainers. You've no longer working with Manny Robles and agreed to work with Adam Booth.
Yeah.
How has this link up come about?
You know, I've been with Manny. I was with Manny for the last year since I turned professional, and now I have another baby on the way. We were living out in LA, and I thought it would be more beneficial for me and the missus to be closer to home for an extra helping hand, because I'm about as useless as an X-ray on a motorbike when I'm in training camp. So there's no point of not being at home.
Was it literally just a logistic thing, or was it a boxing motivated decision as well?
Nah, listen, it was more logistic. I feel that for us to for me to be able to focus on my career fully, I need to be closer to home to have that extra helping hand with me and Shauna's families and stuff. So I think it was more logistical thing, but when I was coming back, it was the decision of who I wanted to train with, and I said I would want to train with only the best in the UK, and I believe Adam Booth was the best, and the question was, would he be the guy who wants to train me? And fortunately enough he was, and now I'm working with Adam, and I'm really looking forward to the future.
Since turning professional, you've been based, as you mentioned, out in the States with Manny Robles. Do you feel that you've had a good schooling under him so far, and a different experience that you might have had you started boxing here in the UK?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen now had the Mexican Americans and a lot of just America in general, how they all kind of box and that kind of style, which I'm going to come up against an awful lot, because my fights will still be based in America, and that's where I'm going to be fighting mostly anyway. So I think I've learned a lot in that style, and I've seen how they spar and how they compete, and I feel I've picked up an awful lot, and I want to thank Manny Robles for giving me a great start to my professional career, and I'll always be friends with Manny, and he's told me the door is always open if I ever need anything for sparring, anything he'll send over the opponents, and it was all ended on good terms, which was good.
Let's talk a little bit about Adam Booth. What was your logic and thinking in reason of sort of linking up with Adam?
I believe Adam is the best coach in the UK, 100%, and I have believed he was the best coach in the UK for many, many years. And I was even thinking before I turned pro, if I was to turn pro in the UK, there was only one coach I would want to train with, and it was Adam. So, I'm happy that he was happy to train with me also. And when you look what he's done for fighters like David Hay, George Groves, Andy Lee, Ram Burnett, most recently, and Josh Kelly. So I feel that he has taken their game to another level, and you've seen how much, when we speak of Rand, in recent times, his most recent double world champion, how much he's improved under Adam and excelled. I feel that that's something that I think Adam can do for me, and I admire him for doing for Rand. I see that bond he has with his fighters, and he seems like he really cares, which is hard to find in professional boxing, someone who actually cares. And I feel that he's the type of guy who cares for his fighters and gives everything 100%, and there's so much thought behind everything he does. It's not just like getting in blindfold, looking in to try and go to war, or not doing anything he should be doing, just focusing on game plans and sticking to what you know best.
You've known Ryan Burnett since the amateur days. You're both Belfast born. Did you speak to Ryan Burnett in regards to sounding him out about this potential move?
I didn't speak to anybody. I didn't speak to any of Adam's previous fighters, because I know I've heard their interviews and I've heard them speak about him, and I know there was not going to be a bad word to say. So I thought it was best for me to come over and do like a trial period with him and find out for myself what I thought of him, and his training methods. And I felt that once, after a few days being around him and being in the gym with him, I felt this is the kind of guy I need to take my game to the next level and bring me back to doing what I do best, and that's boxing.
Adam Booth has managed to acquire such a fantastic stable of young talented fighters, and you guys are all around similar sort of ages. Do you feel you'll bond well with the group of fighters that he's working with already?
Yeah, that's another thing. I thought like it may have been a bit hostile coming because I was a new guy, but all the lads in the team have welcomed me in with open arms, and it's been great. It's been good crack, and I feel that that's something I was maybe missing is the sense of humour from back home, and how everybody over here carries on and stuff, and we're having fun in the gym, but we're working hard, which is the main thing.
I've seen your tickets are coming on pre-sale very soon. Can you tell us a little bit about your next fight date and location of the venue and what's going to go on?
Yeah, next fight date is St Patrick's Day, March 17th, Madison Square Garden again. We're back to where it all began, and tickets go on pre-sale February 1st, so make sure you check out my Twitter. I'll have up the information how to get them sorted, and the code will be on my Twitter also. So we're expecting them to go really fast, and that's why I think they've kind of left it a bit late as well. They pushed them, but it doesn't matter because they will sell fast. There's also two world title fights, I believe, are going to be on it. There's a light heavyweight world title fight and also a welterweight world title fight for Terence Crawford's old WBC title. So it's going to be a great event, and obviously it's St Patrick's Day, so it's going to be full way Irish, and it's going to be amazing. You're
managed and advised by the MTK. Yep. You're also signed by promoter Bob Arum to Top Rank. What is Bob Arum like to deal with, and have you had much sort of one-on-one time spent with Bob?
Yeah, Bob's a great guy. He's his memory and his knowledge on boxing is phenomenal, and he's always great to be around because he'll have a story and he'll be telling it like it was yesterday, and it's class. Like he knows his boxing, and to be saying with a promotional team like Top Rank is, I feel it's something special. For just a kid from Belfast, it's different, and I'm very happy and very thankful for Top Rank for giving me all these opportunities, and I will return with big nights for them. So it's a good working relationship.
Why do you think Top Rank are so successful in the way they build fighters? Look at the fighters that they've worked with in the past, the illustrious names on that list. Why are they so successful in the job that they do?
I think they're the best promoters in the business when you really look at it. They know how to match their fighters and take their fighters to the different levels at the right times. So they don't really they never really sugarcoat their fighters. They don't just throw them in the sink or swims. They build them and put them in at the right time, the right fights at the right times. And I think that's the smartest part of being a promoter, is knowing when to match your fighters and who to match your fighters with at certain times in their career.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about some of the big fights that are going on. We've seen Anthony Joshua's going to face Joseph Parker in the heavyweight unification clash. Are you excited about that fight?
Yeah, anytime Joshua fights, it's going to be exciting for everybody. I think he's the face of boxing at the minute. He's the game changer. So, I think he's taken over maybe Floyd Mayweather's role. Everybody wants to fight Joshua now, and it's heavyweight boxing, so he's the money man. And what Eddie Hearn has done for him is fantastic. He's took boxing to a different level, him and Joshua, because the random blokes in the street are talking about it and they know who he is. How many other fighters in the last 10 years have been able to do it, or last 20 years even, have been able to really do that. So I feel he has been a game changer for boxing and a breath of fresh air.
Who do you see being victorious then, him or Joseph Parker?
Well, you can never underestimate Joe Parker, obviously, because he's a tough guy. He's a nice guy too, and I would say Joshua's going to be favourite because he looks like he's the bigger guy, and he's beat the better opposition in Klitschko, and even though Klitschko may be the only one that separates them, he's still a big win, and I think the experience of the Olympic gold and his amateur pedigree too will stand him in great stead for this fight. And I can just see Joshua, I can say either a late stoppage or points.
One fight that I'm quite intrigued to talk to you about is excuse me, WBO world champion Oscar Valdez, former stablemate, gym mate of yourselves. No doubt you'll know him very well. He's going to be taking on Scott Quigg in quite an intriguing contest. I mean, what are your thoughts on that fight?
It's a great fight. Two explosive fighters, two people who can bang, and I know myself personally that Valdez can really bang. He has a great punch, and he also has great boxing skills. So obviously he's the defending champion, so he's going to be favourite, but you can never really underestimate Quigg. He's a determined guy, and Oscar was hurt in his last fight, so I think Quigg will take big confidence from that, and he'll be getting there full of confidence, going for the win. And it's a hard fight. It's a hard fight for both guys, and it'll be it's maybe I would say Valdez's first real acid test. His first proper elite opponent, and It'll be interesting to see. I look forward to it because I like both guys.
Is it a winnable fight for Scott Quigg in your opinion?
it's whoever can land the big bomb first is what I'm saying. But yeah, listen, it's winnable for both guys. Obviously, with Valdez being champion and being the younger kind of guy, and you know, he's on a great road at the minute with his wins and obviously his power. So he's going to come in as a hard favourite, but I think it'll be a lot closer than what the bookies think.
Speaking of close fights, one fight again that's very intriguing is Frampton taking on 4-weight world champion Donaire.
Yep.
Credit to Frampton. Do you give massive respect to him for taking such a tough fight?
Yeah, a huge respect, because he wants the Windsor fight in Belfast in the summer, and you could say this is a risky one to have before then, because what happens if it goes wrong? But you know, fair play to Card for going in there and facing a top opponent like Nanito. I do think Card knocks Nanito out, to be honest. It just needs to be. He just needs to do a good job on it. It needs to be clean. I think he's the bigger of the two and the stronger of the two, as Nanito has come up from. He's a 4 division champion, so he's probably come up from flyweight or super flyweight, whatever it would be. And I just see Frampton being too strong for Nanito, because and too fresh as well. Even though Frampton's old enough, Nanito's older, and he's had a bit more losses now. So no, I'm Team Frampton on the night, and I think he wins.
It's great that we finally get that fight. When they were both at super bantamweight, it was sort of lauded about potentially as a big fight. So it's great. Credit to both of them.
Credit to Nanito for coming to Belfast, is what I'm saying, because like, you know, he's with Ringstar and stuff. He didn't have to come here, and he took his chance. He knows that he's still a dangerous opponent for anybody, and you know, what a better way to fight someone who's not your Nicholas Walters, who is a proper super featherweight, to fight in a featherweight when he boxed him. He's a guy who actually is a super bantamweight, and Nanito has probably a bit of size advantage, it looked like on the videos from what I've seen. So, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting one that both guys can win, but I'm edging toward Frampton, definitely.
The question we all want to know is who's got the better singing voice? Is it Carl Frampton? Is it Nonito Donaire? We've seen Big Tommy Mack have his opinion on it as well. What do you think?
I think Carl. I've heard Carl. Carl has sent me videos myself, like of him singing, and he's a really good singer, you know.
It's quite surprising. He has got quite a good singing voice, to be fair.
I think because he has a big mouth, it helps. You know, he has that big mouth, the big jaw, and he can belt out those notes. And you know, he's a very good singer as well as a fighter. It seems like he's an all-rounded guy.
What's your karaoke tune, Nick?
Terrible. I'm a terrible singer, to be honest.
What is your karaoke song?
Common Eileen, maybe.
Big tune.
Big tune.
Big tune. So now with the new regime, you're going to be based, I take it, on the outskirts of Surrey, training with Adam Booth. Exciting times for you to have that new transition?
Yeah, definitely exciting times, you know. I can already feel it after the first few days. I'm picking up things that maybe we're starting to slip away from what I was doing. You know, that boxing skill and stuff, I feel like it's all just coming back and everything's falling into place. And
would that be because of the different style?
Just a different style. I was starting to, I think I was kind of, for no fault of my own, lost, mixed in between styles, you know. I didn't.
So that would be the counter punching and the Mexican style.
Yeah, I was like caught between two styles, and you know, all I kind of need to do is refine it. You know, I have that viciousness, the go forward Mexican kind of style now, and you know, if I can mix that with a great counter punching style, I think it could be very effective.
Speaking of Mexicans, we was both there for your brother Jamie Conlan's world title against Ancajas. Very hard night's work for him.
Huge.
Very, very tough. What's going on with Jamie? When can we anticipate news on his return? Do you see him in some big fights in 2018?
I think, you know, he could be out in the summer. I'm not too sure what his plan is. You know, he hasn't really sat down and focused on it. He's more focused on his baby, which is due in the next 2 weeks. So he'll wait until then, and then make his decisions. And once he's, I could still see him in some big fights in 2018, but if not, you know, I'm happy for him either way.
You've been the golden boy of the Irish amateur scene. You've been to numerous world tournaments, European tournaments, Olympic tournaments. In your opinion, who is the next hot shot from the Irish team, seniors or sort of juniors that we should be looking out for?
I think for this Commonwealth Games, like Joe Ward's always going to be there. He's like a 3-time world medalist now, 2 silvers and a bronze, and a 5-time European champion senior. So like he's always going to be there. He's always going to be probably one of the most, if not the most talented guy on the team. Then you've got the likes of Sean McCollum and Kurt Walker, who are also very talented, and I believe they'll go and either win the Commonwealths or definitely medal this year or this year, yeah. And then when at the younger ages, I'm seeing there's 2 kids there who I believe will go on to do big things, and that's Gabriel Dawson from Olympic in Galway, and the other one is Paddy Donovan. 2 great kids, 2 very skillful kids, and you know they're just super talented. And if they stick at it and they stay focused, they could definitely go and win the next Olympics.
Who is the best boxer, pro or amateur, that you've had the pleasure of watching?
Lomachenko. Easy Lomachenko.
Is it true that people would literally run out of the changing rooms to go and watch Lomachenko fight?
I wouldn't really give a shit, to be honest, but it always was good watching him, because like in amateur boxing it was point scoring. In the first minute and a half of the first round, he wouldn't have threw a punch.
Heard this.
He would have just like fainted and moved around and like just kind of just worked you out before even throwing one punch, and then he just would have started to take you apart. Maybe for one round he wouldn't have took, but he probably still would have won the round by 5 points and hadn't threw a punch. It's crazy. But he's a special talent in the amateurs, and he's definitely a special talent in the pros. I would love to see him versus Linares.
That's a great fight. I'd like to see him fight Mikey Garcia. I think that would be the one.
That would be I think that's the one where he could lose, because Mickey's huge, like thick, big head, and it can bang. So you know, it's just you have to hit Lomachenko though. With Linares, you know, obviously, you know, people say he has suspect heart. You know, people don't think he has that grit in him anymore, and I just think his speed and his skill is phenomenal. But you know, if you can't hit what you can't see, it's going to be hard. But I think it's a clash of stage, which you know will be a very, very entertaining fight, and I think Lomachenko will definitely get hit in that fight.
Linares is so great to watch, and if it isn't for them defeats on his record, you're probably talking about one of the all-time greats in the way he
See,
fights.
I don't understand that now. Like, when you look at his defeats and people won't consider him as being how good as what he was, I want to look at his defeats and say, look how he's come back. Look what he's done after losing. Look, he's come back and relit his career, when people probably, I know the American media had like says he was done. He had no heart, no balls, all this stuff, and
he was seconds away from getting wiped out against Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah.
What a performance from Kev that night as well.
Right. So like, for the way people discredit him because he has lost, and they do say he has the lack of heart and stuff, I don't agree. I think how he's come back in his career and shown the determination to get back to the top level, when he was already, he was considered the next golden boy, wasn't he? So you know, the way he lost and came back tells me more about his character than what his record will say.
How many fights do you hope to have this year?
I had 5 last year, so I'm either hoping for 6 or 5 again. It's whatever top rank throw them away, I'm ready.
So nearly every other month we can anticipate a fight now.
That's the way it was last year. I had 5 fights between March and December, so it was tough. Like It is tough, but I enjoy it. You know, and it's getting there and getting used to the small gloves and all this stuff, and the hype in America is crazy. So you know, you get your fair amount of praise, but you get your fair amount of criticism too.
Nothing is as harsh as criticism as Irish boxing journalists. When you win, they absolutely slaughter you guys, let alone if you get beat. I mean, some of the Irish, they're just brutal in their sort of they're breaking down of fights.
I know they're not Sky Sports journalists, are they? They don't just big you up for throwing one punch.
No.
But it's good, you know. Yeah, I think you need that. I think you need to always take on board the credit. Not necessarily take on board, just listen to it, take it in, throw it out, but you know, learn from it. You know.
Look at the fighters that the MTK have got. There's so many big names, so many big characters. Do you feel over the next sort of 3 or 4 years we'll see you come to prominence in the stable?
Definitely, 100%. You know, I feel it. with me being in America and stuff, I'm taking it to a different level with MTK. You know what I mean? I think it's just going to get bigger and better. It's obviously the best management stable in the world at the minute. I think, you know, look how much fighters we have and look how well looked after the fighters are. You know, I gotta thank MTK for everything they've done for me, because they've done a great job so far, and they'll continue to do a great job. So, you know, I'm happy.
Right, well, listen, I really appreciate you giving me some time today, and like always, I look forward to catching you again real soon, and I wish you the best of luck with the rest of your camp, Michael Conlan. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.